Resident Evil Requiem gives you a villain who looks exactly like Albert Wesker, sounds exactly like Albert Wesker, and dies without the game ever actually telling you who he really is. His name is Zeno, and even after finishing the game, digging through the files, and checking every scrap the wiki and the community have pieced together, there's still no confirmed answer, just theories, some stronger than others. We're going through every one of them. Who Zeno actually is in the story. Zeno is a high-ranking member of the Connections, the secretive syndicate that's been manipulating Resident Evil's biggest events from the shadows for decades. In Requiem, he works directly alongside Dr. Victor Gideon, funding and supporting his research into unlocking Elpis, the mysterious project Oswald Spencer sealed away beneath Raccoon City. Zeno believes Elpis is the ultimate bioweapon, something capable of mind control on a global scale, and he wants it badly enough to fake his way through most of the game pretending to care about Grace Ashcroft, the FBI agent dragged into all of this, right up until the moment that mask comes off completely. He carries an old break-action pistol nicknamed Redemption, dresses in a white suit with a black coat, and if you fail a specific choice near the end of the game, he's the one who puts a bullet in Leon's head in the bad ending, making him the first character in the franchise to actually kill Leon in a canon-adjacent cutscene. The Wesker Resemblance nobody can ignore. Here's the detail that got the entire community talking before the game even released. Zeno looks like Albert Wesker, not kind of similar. Combed back blonde hair, sharp features, the same black shades, the same general presence. And it's not a coincidence built purely on visual design. He's voiced by Craig Bernatowski, the same actor who voices Wesker in the Resident Evil 4 remake. The game never directly states that Zeno is a clone, but it gets close enough that it's hard to read it any other way. At one point, Gideon turns on Zeno and says, flat out, that he is nothing but an imitation. That's not subtle. Whether Zeno is a literal clone, a product of the old Wesker project, or something else entirely tied to Spencer's research, Requiem seems to want you asking that question without ever fully answering it. The orphanage theory. This is where the community's own digging goes even further than what the game states outright. Buried in Requiem's files is a photograph from April 15, 1987, showing Oswald Spencer with a group of children, and in the background, a single unidentified boy stands apart from the rest. The orphanage depicted throughout Requiem is otherwise shown housing only girls, which makes that one boy stick out immediately to anyone paying close attention. Add to that Zeno's pale skin and white hair, both consistent with a lack of melanin, along with eyes that resemble Chloe's, one of the orphanage's confirmed subjects before her disposal. And a photo of the orphanage's children appearing right alongside Zeno's FBI profile during the credits, and you've got a theory that's built almost entirely out of implication rather than confirmation. Requiem never states outright that Zeno came from the orphanage's experiments, but the wiki itself flags the connection as one of the stronger pieces of circumstantial evidence in the whole mystery. What Elpis actually did to him. Zeno is also confirmed to be infected with Raccoon City Syndrome, the same latent T-virus condition slowly killing off survivors of the original 1998 outbreak, though his case is noticeably less severe than Leon's by the time the story catches up to him. Convinced that injecting himself with Elpis will finally make him more powerful, Zeno does exactly that near the story's climax. It backfires completely. Rather than granting him strength, Elpis strips away his condition and his abilities entirely, turning out to be an antiviral rather than the mind-controlling weapon he and Gideon spent the whole game chasing. Furious and humiliated by that discovery, Gideon turns on him almost immediately afterward, and Zeno is killed by Gideon's own mutated nemesis, Gamma Arm, decapitated in the same breath Gideon delivers that nothing but an imitation line. Why the community is still frustrated. A lot of fans feel like Zeno was set up to be something much bigger than what Requiem actually delivers. He doesn't get a dedicated boss fight anywhere in the game. There's no confrontation with Chris Redfield, despite the obvious Wesker parallel practically begging for one. There's no scene addressing Jake Muller, Wesker's own biological son, despite Zeno wearing Wesker's face for the entire story. The Wesker project and HCF connections are never directly resolved either. You're left putting the pieces together yourself, the same way we just did.
Whether that's a deliberate setup for DLC content down the line, or just an underbaked plot thread that didn't get the room it needed, is genuinely up for debate. Given Requiem's director has already confirmed additional story content is coming, there's a real chance Zeno's full origin gets addressed later, rather than left as a permanent loose end. So who is Zeno? Officially, still nobody knows for certain. Unofficially, between the Wiki's own notes and everything the community has pieced together from photographs, dialogue, and Elpis' actual effect on his condition, the two strongest theories both point towards the same idea from different directions, that Zeno is some version of Spencer's unfinished work. Whether that's a clone project, a memory transfer experiment, or something adjacent to both. Requiem hands you a villain built entirely out of implication, kills him before he can explain himself, and dares you to fill in the rest. For now, that's exactly what the whole fanbase is still doing.